Hello YouTube, Totalhenry here, and welcome to What I'm Reading and Watching Episode 2. This is a weekly show where every Monday I talk to you about the manga and anime that I've been reading and watching over the past week. So this is a quick rundown of the show. I will quickly talk about the series. I made up my mind after last episode. I might have spoilers when I talk about the series. I will let you know before I start talking about it, so you can not listen to it if you don't want to hear spoilers. And other than that, it will just be a quick little summary of what I thought of the chapter. Okay, so and always remember that the times for what I'm talking about in the video will be in the description, so you can skip whatever you don't want to hear and jump to the series that you do want. Okay, so to start things off, we're going to start off with the manga in Toriko chapter 295. This was essentially a goodbye chapter. They're off to find the food pair in Area 7 of the gourmet world, and it was just a chapter where everyone from Bewitching Food Village said goodbye. It wasn't that great of a chapter. They introduced a new animal. I thought it was kind of weird. Sort of another camping animal like that gigantic octopus they had, but it was a shark bus, which kind of threw me off. Kind of weird. Wasn't expecting that. Seems kind of cartoony, but other than that, it was just a chapter of them getting ready to go. They talked about what to expect, the new foe. I won't spoil that. So yeah, still really excited to see more of this gourmet world because it's such a cool world with wacky weather and all that cool stuff. So I'm excited to see where they go from here and who they have to fight. Okay, so the next series is Naruto chapter 694. And here might I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about the chapter, so if you haven't read it, spoiler alert. So right now, Naruto and Sasuke are about to fight at the final valley, I think it was. And before the lead up to the fight, Sasuke is talking about what he thinks Hokage is, and his idea of Hokage is essentially someone that can take all the hatred and deal with it and not let anyone else in the village see it. But he also wants to eliminate the past and destroy everything and essentially start anew. That's what Sasuke wants. And Naruto's a more idealistic person, and he thinks the Hokage should be chosen by the people, sort of a democratic vote, whoever the people want, leader of the people, while Sasuke just wants someone that can take this pain and contain it and not show any emotion. He thinks he can do that. Now, I sort of personally agree with Sasuke on the idea that I guess the head person that's in charge, the general of the army, should hold in more stuff, personally take everything and not show it, because that might be considered weakness. But so I can see where he's coming from. So that sort of seems like a good idea to me. Idealistically, you do want everyone to like the leader, but that's not always going to happen. So this is a battle of ideas. The one thing I think Sasuke is wrong about is about the past. He wants to eliminate the past, and I don't think you can do that because you learn from the past. You learn from whatever mistakes you're made. I learned from my last video what to do and what not to do. So I don't know if I had to choose sides. Naruto's very idealistic. Sasuke's not so much, or in the opposite direction, I think. I don't know. I still want Naruto to be Hokage, but I'm intrigued by what Sasuke has in mind. Now, my hope for this battle is, they said earlier in the manga that if Naruto and Sasuke were to fight, one of them will die. I hope I'm quoting that correctly. And I'm almost positive that Naruto said that, and I hope Kishimoto stays true to that, and someone does die. I think that would be a great way to end. I said before I do want Naruto to become Hokage, so kind of rooting for Naruto here, even though I'm curious about what Sasuke's stance is. But I just can't wait for this battle, and could very well be the high point of the manga. Okay, now Bleach chapter 599. This has been, as I said last week, Bleach has been the same thing. This is a better chapter than last week. I enjoyed it more. The bad guys are turning the tide. I always love chapters where the hero is backed against the wall. But Bleach hasn't interested me in a while, and I don't know, not much to say about it. They keep introducing new bad guys, and I don't know, I'm just not into that. And Ichigo's always traveling places trying to get to the Soul Society to fight, and that takes forever. Now he's trying to get to the Soul Palace to fight there, and that's going to take another 20, 30 chapters. So I don't know what's going on anymore. I've read so much, I'm going to keep with it, but it doesn't really interest me. Now, One Piece chapter 762. This, like Naruto, I'm going to talk more in depth about, so spoiler warning. This is a flashback for Law, and about how he used to live in a city called White City, where they discovered that underneath the ground was poison, and people started to die because their skin would turn white. Well, not people started to die younger and younger. So there's a really awesome page in the book that shows the generation thing, where people first die around the age of 80 or 70. Then next it would be 50 to 40, then 40 to 30, and so on and so forth, until the kids that were being born were going to die before they could even have kids. So they don't say if Law's infected. I think he is. That's my personal thing. Plus, I think they mentioned earlier in this arc that he doesn't have much time left. So I hope he is infected. I think that'd make the series interesting. And also, if he dies, that would also make it interesting. Maybe you've gotten the vibe I'm kind of a dark person. That's not true at all. I just hate it when creators say a character has a disease and they're gonna die, and then they don't die, or some person comes along with a miracle cure that wasn't mentioned in the story and they save the character's life. So I think sometimes death is the best way to go. I think by way to go I mean it makes the story more interesting and more enjoyable. Now, this was a great flashback chapter. It was really, really sad, and this is a staple of One Piece. Sad background chapters that really shape the characters. And Oda is such a master at doing this. And as I looked back over the chapter to figure out what I wanted to talk about, I wasn't even reading the chapter, and I still got sad just from like quickly skimming it and looking at the arts and the way he draws faces when they're crying, especially kid faces. It's really emotional. This is a great chapter. Really enjoying One Piece. Okay, Nisekoi chapter 141. This one has a slight spoiler in that Shu is the main character in this chapter. I don't think that's really a spoiler. And this is a fantastic chapter. Shu is my favorite character, so whenever he takes center stage, I'm really, really happy. He's a really funny character, and the best character in the manga, in my opinion. Raku's sort of a side character in this chapter, which I'm totally fine with. This deals with Shu's love life. I don't want to talk too much about this chapter, just besides the fact that I really liked it. It wasn't as funny as other chapters. Rui was in the chapter. She had some really funny, solid panels where she had a great face. They're hard to describe, but I thought that was enjoyable. Also, Shu and Rui, those out of any couple Nisekoi, that's a couple that I would want to see the most, and that's a couple that I really want to wind up together, because Shu's just my favorite character, and I think just from the get-go they've had something, even though she would probably deny it. Okay, so Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 88. This is the standard chapter at the very end of a Shokugeki, their sort of food war thing, and there's nothing special about this chapter. A lot of descriptions of the dish, which I don't understand, and I don't know. It's the same old chapter. I still found it enjoyable. I don't want to spoil anything. This is a series that you really should read, and unlike the other series that I talked more in depth about, there's not too much to go in depth here. So yeah, it was an enjoyable chapter, and you got to see an outcome that was weeks in the making, so that is always an enjoyable thing. Now, the next series that is not a weekly series, or a series that I read weekly, is Hajime no Ippo chapter 1073. Last week in the first episode, I talked about the series, and I was so happy that a new chapter was translated. So, of course, I said before, this is one of my favorite mangas, so I have to talk about it. Now, to talk more in depth about it, there will be spoilers about mainly the previous chapter. So this takes place after Ippo lost to Gonzalez, and it's the day after the fight. He's sort of walking along. He's going for a run, and he looks out and he's just sort of thinking about his loss, and he tells himself that he doesn't want to lose ever again. Now, this confused me, or I had a number of reactions here. One, I thought that happened after he lost the date. I thought he had a moment where he said to himself, "I'm never going to lose again. I don't want to feel like this." So for the author to do it again, it seems kind of redundant, because I thought that feeling was there. They expanded on it a little bit more, which I'm not gonna go into. But basically, he's telling himself, "I'm never gonna lose again." And the other thing that's said to me, because it was a huge double-page spread where he's standing there and he says, "I'm never gonna lose," that this series is gonna go on for a while. I was hoping that he was gonna win, take on the world champion, his name is Ricardo, I believe, and win the world championships, and that would be the rest of the series, because the series has gone on for so long. It's incredible, but at some point it needs to wrap up, and the chapters take so long to come out, and I don't know Japanese yet, so I can't read the Japanese volumes or read the Japanese chapters. So I think this series is going to go on for a while. Also in this chapter, Ippo is going to talk to Takamura about his just sort of about his loss, and his friends are worried about this. Now, I can't wait to read the next chapter. I don't know when it's going to come out, but Takamura usually has some interesting things to say, and I think my prediction is he's going to say some inspiring things, give some words of wisdom, and then say something really stupid and really mean, like he always does, and ruins the moment. So yeah. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is an American comic I just got in the mail a few days ago, An Amazing Spider-Man number 6. So, this is an issue that comes to my door. I subscribed, and after this issue, and this issue really cemented it, I'm going to have to drop this series. I'm going to have to make sure that my order doesn't renew itself, because I'm just not into this anymore. These superhero comics are the same old thing, and I feel like every time I read this issue, I'm reading the same old thing. That's not to say that I don't like American comics. I thought Superior Spider-Man, the one before this new Amazing Spider-Man, was very good, and I particularly liked it because it was different. It was dark. But now that Peter Parker's back, he seems to be doing the same thing, and I feel like the story's not going anywhere. He's building a prison for superheroes, and that or not superheroes, supervillains, excuse me. And I don't know why they would do that, because so many villains get thrown into prison and then they escape, then the hero puts them back into prison, and it's an endless cycle. I almost want to see superheroes just kill the villains, because it ends the problem right there. I'm really cementing this point that I'm a dark person. I sort of view Sasuke's nature as my own. This is really coming through in this video. So long story short, this was nothing stood out to me about this issue, and I'm probably going to drop this series. I might get a few more because I don't know when my subscription ends, and I will have more American comic books on this show. I'm gonna go back to my local library, and they have a huge selection, so I'll be able to pick out some more that interest me and read them in trade-ins, which is always better. So now the last thing in this, well, the last comic book in this video, which I'm really excited about, the last manga series, is Battle Royale. I completed Battle Royale. These are all the Ultimate editions from my local library. These are the first 4 right here. And I have to say, Battle Royale is a great series. There are 5 Ultimate editions. I was only able to take out the first 4. And I read the last 3 volumes online. But this is just an incredible series. And I love this series so much. I'm gonna try my hardest to collect all the volumes of this. Now I do want to say that the parental advisory warning is to be taken seriously. There's a lot of blood and a lot of fan service in here, and you should probably be 18 years old before you read this series, at least. The series is not for everyone. Just like I said, there's a lot of blood. This is essentially Japan's version of the Hunger Games, but I like it better. It's more intense, and the part of it that I like more is the fact that in this society right here, they choose one 9th grade class, so all the kids are friends and they all know each other, as opposed to the Hunger Games where these kids have never met, and it's easier to imagine yourself, God forbid, killing a person you've never met that's trying to kill you, as opposed to trying to kill your friend, your best friend that's trying to kill you. And this series is so incredible. The action's great. The characters are great. You get attached to these characters. You think, oh, this character's gonna make it to the end, and they die, and it's just so sad. The art's incredible. I really enjoy this art style here. Let me see if I can find the good picture. This art style is incredible. It doesn't look like ordinary manga. Let's see if I can figure this. Let's see if I can show you. It's a little bit more realistic. I wonder how well this is showing up. So I love this series. I can't stop praising it. I can't think anything bad about it. The ending wasn't maybe up to par with what I had hoped, but this is still a series that you should check out. And if you enjoyed the Hunger Games and you can handle blood and gore and fan service, I think you would like this. And that's probably a pretty small crowd. A lot of conditions there need to be met. So for the last thing, as always, we will talk about the anime that I watched. And so I've been watching Pokemon. I didn't watch a lot last week because I was trying to get through all of these so I could talk about it. But I managed to watch 2 episodes. Now, because I watched such a small number, I will give you the episode titles and what episode numbers they were. I won't always do that. So I watched episode 50, Who Gets to Keep Togepi, and episode 51, Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden. And yes, this is the Indigo League, the very first series of Pokemon. So this is episode 50. Um, Now I have seen some of these episodes before in parts as a little kid. I'm going back and I'm going to try to attempt to rewatch all of Pokemon from the very first generation all the way to the new generations. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. It's a really nice nostalgia trip for me. Um, and the episode where Misty gets Togepi, I don't think that's a spoiler. People know that, right? They have a little tournament. Meowth fights in it, and there's some pretty good humor. And even as a high school kid, I still thought it was funny. Bulbasaur's Mysterious Garden is where Bulbasaur is about to evolve, or has the, in this case, option to evolve, and he chooses not to evolve. And it was an interesting episode. I honestly had never seen it before, and I thought Bulbasaur was going to evolve. And I always have a hard time remembering what Pokemon Ash has, because Ash always gets all these starter Pokemon, and not all of them make it to their third form. So I can't remember if Ash ever gets a Venusaur. I want to say he does, but I don't know. I'm kind of glad Bulbasaur didn't evolve, because I like Bulbasaur, and a lot of middle stages seem weird to me, like Ivysaur. Please join me next week as I continue to share with you the manga, anime, and the occasional American comic book that I am reading and watching.